So I easily spend like 10 to 14 hours per day sitting right here at my desk. And over time, I noticed that my posture has gotten pretty bad. Like I'm sitting here typing and I notice I have like rounded shoulders and my head leans forward. Not only do I think it looks ugly, but it also feels really uncomfortable as well. And as a full-time content creator and someone who loves to play video games, I knew this was the year I needed to find a solution that could keep me doing what I love, but also hopefully correct my bad posture. So like any reasonable person, I scoured the internet to find the best office chairs on the market, and over the last 2 years, I have literally tested out half a dozen different chairs, ranging from your typical high-end gaming chair to the most popular chairs on the market, and even this super obscure one that I saw on Shark Tank one time. And that's when I finally came across a company called Anthros, who claims that sitting in their high-end office chair actually improves your posture over time. And the more I looked through their website, the more I realized they might actually be onto something, because these guys also used to create custom wheelchairs. So a little fun fact that you guys don't know about me, my younger brother James actually suffers from cerebral palsy, and as a person with disabilities, he has custom wheelchairs that are tailor-made specifically for him. And I remember when I was growing up, I used to sit down in his wheelchair and I used to always think to myself, man, I wish I had a chair like this. These are super comfortable. So I think you guys will understand when I say it really caught my attention reading how Anthros is going to take that same wheelchair technology and make a high-end office chair with it. And at the time, this seemed like a no-brainer purchase, that is, until I saw the price tag. And I'm going to be honest with you, because of the price tag, I let the Anthros chair sit in my shopping cart for like 6 months and I never even ended up buying it. That was until the Anthros team decided to reach out to me on Instagram and ask if they could send me one for review. And about a week later, this arrived. All right, so first of all, one of the most important steps when buying a new chair is figuring out exactly how much of a challenge it's going to be to build it. Because I have back problems, lifting heavy materials like this can be really challenging, or maybe bending over, things like that. So depending on how many pieces this comes in and actually how difficult it is, I'll let you guys know on a scale of 1 to 10 if you have back problems, if you could maybe do it yourself, or if you should ask a friend or family member for help. But I'm gonna go ahead and bust this thing open and we'll get right into it. Your brand new chair is gonna come in 2 different boxes, one that contains the base, which I'm putting on the floor now, and the other which contains the seat and back support. Opening up the top, we get instructions, posture guides, and warranty information, which by the way, on top of having a 30-day trial, Anthros also gives a 12-year warranty, which is pretty insane. Right here, you can see my chair came with a free foot support, which I'll put to the side for now. And then we have our adjustment knobs, which will easily slide into place later. The chair also comes with a screwdriver and all the hardware you need for assembly. This right here is the back support, which I had to give a few quick test squeezes to make sure it was up to my comfort standards. And those standards, by the way, are pretty high, considering the fact that I actually had a back surgery on multiple parts of my spine just a few years ago. So for me, on top of correcting my posture, comfort really goes hand in hand. And now we've come to the most difficult part of this entire assembly process, and that is lifting the seat. It's a little bit of an awkward lift, and that's because every other part of this chair branches off of this seat, but I quickly figured it out and was able to remove it from the box and its packaging. For perspective, I decided to throw this seat onto the scale and it came in at 36.2 pounds. So if you have back problems, this should give you a pretty good idea of whether you should attempt to assemble this chair by yourself or not. And now it's time to take out our 5-spoke base, which is in that second box that I put aside earlier. As you can see, there's a few guiding rods which allow us to easily slide the base into proper position. It's literally impossible to mess this part up, which is really nice. And with the chair flipped over, most of the hard work is done. Now I'm going to take these 2 knobs and I'm going to slide them into place. It's kind of like putting together giant Legos at this point. And for the final piece, we grab the backrest and slide it into the spine of the chair. Remember that screwdriver and hardware set from earlier? Well, go ahead and grab those because we're going to need to use both of those plus the Allen wrench to tighten everything down. Now that part was pretty easy, but the part that wasn't easy is placing this plastic cover back over the hardware. And for whatever reason, I had a lot of trouble with this, but eventually it popped into place. And after about 5 minutes of assembly, this was the result. So I'm picking this video back up after 3 weeks of testing, and in that time, I have sat in this chair for more than 200 hours, which gives me a really good understanding of what this chair has to offer. And since I know the majority of you are never going to be able to actually sit test the Anthros chair before you decide if you want to spend $2,000 or not, I've decided to break down everything that I've learned about the Anthros chair in 5 easy to understand categories. This way, by the end of the video, you can understand all the positives and negatives to owning the Anthros chair. So the categories are as follows. First off, we're going to get into build quality and materials. After that, it's going to be comfort and support. Number 3, we're going to talk ergonomics. Number 4, it's going to be aesthetics. And we're going to finish up with price and warranty. And make sure you guys watch until the very end, because I'm going to be saving the most important topic for last, and that is, can a $2,000 office chair really fix bad posture. Starting out strong with build quality and materials. The Anthros chair is built on an aluminum frame and surrounded by quite a bit of plastic. However, don't let that statement fool you because this chair does feel sturdy from top to bottom. The chair features a patented 2-part back system, which is wrapped in your choice of synthetic leather or a premium fabric material. And unlike chairs in the past, I avoided leather at all costs this time around because leather just makes me sweaty when I've been sitting for a really long time. This fabric material is heavily textured and definitely has a little bit of a stretch to it. This way, after hours of sitting, it can tighten back up and go back into its original position. This material is both durable and super comfortable to the touch. The fabric is wrapped around a patented cushion, which is made up of a durable contoured HR foam with pressure relieving cutouts. Those cutouts go right underneath your sit bones, and that foam is also wrapped in a proprietary Cloud Tech fabric layer. The seat feels very firm and supportive and just screams high quality. Now, the pelvic and back support are some of the same, feeling very supportive yet comfortable. And when we turn the chair around, you'll notice that I opted to go with a carbon fiber insert, which makes my chair cater to a professional yet gaming enthusiast look. On the side, this chair comes with 4D armrests, which are bolted to the bottom of the frame. These can slide both in and out, up and down, forward and back, and diagonally as well. The foam pads on top are pretty firm but also feel very durable, which is important because I find that the fail point on most chairs is the armrest. And all the way at the bottom, this chair has a 5-spoke wheel design which glides effortlessly on my wood floors. However, when I took the chair around the house, it met quite a bit of resistance when I took it on this short carpet rug and was virtually a chore to push around the medium length carpet in my bedroom. I think the wheels leave a lot to be desired, and I would love to see an upgrade in this department on a future iteration. Also, for context, I am 6'1", 190 pounds, and I noticed that this chair is extremely sturdy for my build, and even when I'm swaying side to side, it doesn't really lean very much from one way to the other. The knobs on this chair feel stiff and durable with a light textured feel, and the swivel is effortless and smooth. The adjustment mechanisms for the pelvic and upper back support feel very sturdy, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows though, because this chair doesn't even have a headrest. But I'm gonna wait and touch on that a bit more when we get to the next section. So overall, for build quality and materials, I give this chair a very solid 8.7 out of 10. For our second category, let's talk about comfort and support. The Anthros chair features a high quality foam seat that balances a combination of softness and firmness to create an extremely comfortable and supporting base. And that base, by the way, is large enough to tuck my leg under while I sit in this weird position that for some reason I find myself doing often. It uses what Anthros is calling cloud float technology, which allows your sit bones to sink into the cushion and float in space rather than resting on a firm surface. The chair also has excellent lumbar support, which is adjustable and maintains a great posture for the user. The fabric is breathable, stretchy, and does a great job of keeping you cool and comfortable while sitting for extended periods of time. And of course, my favorite part is the recline and tilt functions, which are able to give you that laid back comfort without compromising your posture. Now, there is a learning curve here for your body and its posture, because for the first week or so, I was actually feeling a bit sore. I found out this is because I went from years of slouching and sitting with bad posture to all of a sudden having a nice stacked alignment. Thankfully though, the posture correction has become more and more comfortable over the following weeks. Also, as mentioned before, there is no headrest on this chair, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I was kind of upset about before I even got it. However, unlike my Herman Miller, because of the way the Anthros chair positions the user, I have never felt once like I even needed one. So the lack of headrest is surprisingly not even a big deal. And if I could change anything about this chair, I would love to see an option for a longer seat depth. This way my legs would feel a bit more supported all the way through to my knees. Also, the armrests are a little hard to the touch and they trade off comfort for durability, which I'm definitely in favor of. However, I do wonder though if it'd be possible to instead use some of that cloud foam and fabric that the seat uses, because it's seriously so great. And with all of that in mind, my final score for comfort and support is a solid 9 out of 10. Next up, let's talk about those ergonomics. This chair is designed with plenty of advanced features which helps it excel in this category, like the dual action backrest. Its split level design allows for precise lumbar and upper back support and maintains a stacked and natural sitting position. The shape and design of the seat cushion also help with this because it's able to support and evenly distribute weight, which minimizes pressure points. Of course, like any other chair, you can easily adjust the floor to seat height and lock in that 90-degree knee to waist bend ratio. And on top of that, the 4D armrests do a great job creating a 90-degree bend in my shoulders and elbows, which alleviates all the pressure off my joints while typing and working at my desk. desk. The overall design feels like it forms around my body, and I also really like how the backrest flexes and moves with my body as I make subtle movements and adjustments while sitting and stretching. If I could change anything in the ergonomics department, it would be to have multiple size chairs. At 6'1", this chair works great for me. However, I think people specifically 6'3" and taller would probably benefit from an XL chair option. And with all of that in mind, my final score for ergonomics is 9.2 out of 10. Okay, time to talk about aesthetics. In my opinion, Anthros prioritizes performance and comfort over looks with this chair. And in no way is this chair ugly. In fact, I think this chair looks very sleek and futuristic, but the overall design feels like a bit of an afterthought and kind of just the result of what Anthros was left with after their engineering team finished creating their masterpiece. I definitely understand that there isn't many ways to dress this thing up, especially with that dual section backrest, because they're limited to how the technology actually performs. And I definitely do appreciate the customization options that allow for back inserts and fabric colors to be personalized and changed out for premium materials like wood or even carbon fiber, but I don't think that these necessarily do enough to carry the design by themselves. And I know I might sound like I'm being a little critical here, but at the price point, these are things that consumers are going to take into consideration. If I could do anything to change the design, I would maybe focus on changing the materials of the actuating spine arms. If those were, say, plated in wood, brushed aluminum, or even carbon fiber, then I think the chair itself would be much more appealing to the eye. And with all of that in mind, my final score for aesthetics is 6 out of 10. And now let's roll right into price and warranty. As mentioned before, this chair will run you around $2,000. And I know for my build specifically, the total cost was $2,216.37. And that price point definitely puts Anthros at the very high end of office chair pricing, which Anthros says they're well aware of, and this was an intentional choice because they wanted to focus on creating the highest quality chair possible and not the cheapest chair possible. And for that price point, one could only hope that it comes with a decent warranty, and thankfully Anthros puts their money where their mouth is and not only gives a 30-day trial, but also a massive 12-year warranty with their chair. As far as total value goes, I think the quality far exceeds the price. This chair is worth every single penny, to the point where I would personally be willing to pay even more for additional premium options. For example, I would pay for better wheels, armrests, and additional size options. And with all of that in mind, my final score for price and warranty is 9.5 out of 10, giving the Anthros chair a final grade of 42.4 out of 50. Or in other words, a solid B. And finally, we have made it to the most important part of the entire video, and that is, did the $2,000 office chair actually fix my bad posture? And the simple answer is, kind of. While I don't think one chair or gadget can magically fix years of bad posture, this chair has shown me over the last few weeks what good posture feels like. And in the same way that I was sore when I first started sitting with good posture in this chair, now I feel sore when I sit with bad posture in any other chair. So I guess you can say the Anthros chair actually did make a difference.